and welcome to this latest DPA video interview. Today I'm with Mike Wilson, Chief Automation Officer at the Manufacturing Technology Centre. Today we'll be talking about how the MTC helps companies apply automation. So Mike, there are certainly growing levels of interest in automation, and I understand that the challenges brought on by Brexit and the COVID-19 pandemic is accelerating the need for UK businesses to upgrade their manufacturing facilities. Can you explain why companies should be considering the application of robots and automation in light of these challenges?
Sure, thank you, Paige. So in terms of Brexit, it's really been driven by two factors. I think firstly about improving our productivity and competitiveness, because we don't have the same market access maybe in Europe as we previously had. We need to make sure our businesses are truly competitive on that stage. And secondly, about labour shortages, because we were seeing increasing labour shortages within many sectors, and in particular within food, because of the changes that were happening as a result of Brexit. In terms of COVID and the pandemic, I think that's more about resilience. I think a lot of our factories are struggling to maintain their productive capacity. They need to make sure they can be agile and respond to changes in situations. And we also have the opportunity to reshore, because a lot of our supply chains were struggling to maintain their capability of supplying product into the UK. So I think there are changes there that give us the opportunity to grow our manufacturing sector, but to achieve those, we need to make sure that we're automating, partly because of the labour shortage and also partly to maintain our competitive position.
I also understand that the UK is out of step with the rest of the world with regards to the uptake of automation. Can you explain why we've been so slow to invest?
Yeah, I think there are a number of factors in that respect, and it's a bit disappointing. We're still the 9th largest manufacturer in the world, but we're 24th in terms of robot adoption, and I'd expect us to be closer to 9th or 10th position in that respect. So I think the factors, one being that we've used a lot of low cost or so-called low cost labour over the recent years. We brought people in, particularly from Eastern Europe, to work in our factories, and we've done that rather than applying automation. I think there are perceptions around automation, in particular robotics, related to the perceived risks and costs of it. It's not as difficult as a lot of people think. It's not as expensive as a lot of people think, and we need to address those issues. I think there are also factors, particularly with some smaller businesses that have less experience of automation. They're cautious in terms of dealing with suppliers. Because they don't necessarily understand what it is they're trying to do, they're a bit nervous about engaging with the automation supply chain. And I think lastly, it's about our culture. There was a study done by the All-Party Parliamentary Manufacturing Group a number of years ago that looked at the culture of UK manufacturing, and they called that report Making Good. And I think they chose that title on purpose. If I can summarize that report in a couple of sentences, basically they characterize the UK as being proud that we keep all of our old machines running, whereas in Germany they're proud that they bought new machines. And I've said that many times at different conferences and seminars, and I get lots of nods and smiles, and I've never had anybody disagree. So I think our culture in terms of keeping machinery going rather than buying new equipment is slowing down our investment. Not just for robots, but robots are obviously affected by that.
So following on from that, how can the Manufacturing Technology Centre help companies apply automation?
Well, we're about giving manufacturing businesses advice and expertise to help them develop their capabilities, not just in automation, but in all forms of advanced manufacturing technology. We're there to help businesses that don't know what it is they want to do, actually develop their capabilities and employ new technologies. And we can do that for automation adoption as well.
Can you walk us through some of the first steps you take when working with a company who has little experience with automation?
Well, we often start with a line walk. So we'll walk through the manufacturing facility, looking at their operations and understanding what capabilities they have, what machinery they have, and what their status is, if you like, in terms of their organization. And the reason we do that is to ensure that they're actually ready for automation. We have within the MTC a business transformation team that can help in terms of the organization of the factory, applying lean techniques and so on, to ensure that the company concerned really is ready to get the benefits from that automation adoption. Following that, once they are ready, we will help them identify the most appropriate application. It may not be the hardest challenge within the factory, and often it isn't. It may not be the challenge that gives them the best payback. What we're looking for is a good application that gives them that entry into automation, gives them a good return on investment, but helps them move up the learning curve. And once we've identified the application, we can then help them write the specification, which is very important. A lot of businesses don't write proper specifications when they're buying automation, but it is important for a couple of reasons. One is to ensure that you get what you actually expect to get. And secondly, you can compare the quotations that you receive from the different suppliers to ensure that you're getting effectively apples for apples. So we can help companies write the specification. We can help identify the most appropriate suppliers for them. We have good knowledge of the supply base for automation in the UK. Believe it or not, there's over 45 robot suppliers. There's over 200 systems integrators operating in the UK. And we have knowledge of those businesses, and therefore we can recommend the most appropriate for any particular company and any particular application. So we can help companies move down that journey, as it were, reducing the risk for them, giving them the benefit of our knowledge and expertise. But while we're doing it, what we're trying to do is to help educate the business at the same time, so that when they look at future applications, they can do much more of that work themselves. So we're about helping companies adopt automation, but at the same time educating them so that they don't need to rely on us in the future.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much, Mike. And to find out more about how the MTC can help you, please visit their website. All the details will be shared on screen shortly. Thank you very much.
Thank you.